Dan Bilzerian owes a model $400,000 from a single photo shoot. How in the world did she trick Dan into paying her this much money for one day of work? Dan Bilzerian, once known as the king of Instagram, spends a lot of time around beautiful women. His entire social media presence is about his ability to go everywhere with a group of models. So how did one of those models finesse him for $400,000? This is Kaylee Pavillard. She's a model and lists herself as co-founder of a brand called Radiate by Amanda. She lists beauty and fitness model and influencer with elite model management to verify she was a model. Back in 2018, Kaylee was hired by Dan Bilzerian's company Ignite International Limited for a single-day photo shoot. What unraveled is an interesting story. Dan Bilzerian has been the CEO of Ignite since 2015, according to his LinkedIn page. Ignite has a large following on Instagram thanks to Dan's crazy lifestyle. Ignite is a consumer packaged goods company in the CBD and vape pen space. They were a public company for a couple years, so we could see the financial statements. The company generated $62 million in revenue in 2021. They generated $19 million in 2022 Q1 in their final quarter as a public company. They apparently went private in July 2022. Thankfully for us, lawsuits are public records, so we can be entertained by this interesting story. In 2020, Kaylee Pavillard sued Ignite International for penalties for the late payment of wages. Dan, on behalf of Ignite, leverages models to get your attention on his brand. His marketing is pretty awesome if you're into beautiful women wearing bikinis at social events. His brand is smartly always in the photos he takes with the women. Ignite hires these models to help with the marketing. I think you can guess why photos like these get a lot of engagement for his company. On October 5, 2018, Kaylee was hired by Ignite for that single day for a photo shoot, and they agreed to pay her $3,000 for that one day of work. Ignite failed to timely pay Kaylee her wages upon discharge. Payment of those wages was not made for more than 30 days after the date upon which plaintiff was discharged. Discharge just means conclusion in the eyes of the law for employment. This isn't her, but I imagine she was paid to do something like this. Getting paid $3,000 for a single day's work of modeling sounds like a pretty legit career. If any modeling talent agents are watching this, my schedule just happens to be open. Labor Code Section 203 provides that upon an employer's failure to make timely payment of wages, the employee's wages shall continue as a penalty until paid, or for a period of up to 30 days from the time the wages came due, whichever period is shorter. Because Ignite failed to pay Kaylee on time, she could add a fine on top of what they already owed, but it accrues by the day. Pursuant to the provisions of Labor Code Section 203, plaintiff is entitled to an award of penalties in the amount of $90,000, which is plaintiff's daily rate multiplied by 30 days. A $3,000 missed payment became a $90,000 expense, but you also have to include attorney's fees as well. We're just getting started on the expenses. When looking through the case documents, I noticed that a third-party complaint was filed in February 2021. Ignite was suing a photographer named Josh Ryan and LA Models. Ryan was hired by Ignite as an independent contractor to handle all aspects of the photo shoot. I believe this is the Josh Ryan being sued. Ignite alleges that they hired Josh to handle the photo shoot. On his own accord, Ryan signed a booking confirmation with LA Models wherein he requested that models be present for the photo shoot on October 5, 2018. Ryan indicated in the booking confirmation he was signing on behalf of Ignite and that Ignite was to be invoiced. Basically, Ignite states they hired Josh for a photo shoot. He listed Ignite as the company to invoice, but Ignite never knew. Ignite believes that LA Models would invoice Josh. Ignite alleges it never even received the invoice. Ignite paid Josh as a contractor. Josh was supposed to pay LA Models as a contracted service, and LA Models was supposed to pay Kaylee as their employee. The lawsuit alleges that Kaylee was never paid by LA Models. Fast forward to April 2022, 14 months later, the judge determined Ignite to be liable and a judgment of $90,000 was awarded to Kaylee Pavillard. But that's not all. With lawsuits, you can ask for attorney's fees as well. Anyone want to guess how much the attorneys cost? In America, you think of a reasonable number and multiply it by 47 to get the real attorney's fees number. In June 2022, the document indicating attorney's fees was filed. Factual background: $3,000 is the amount in question, $90,000 is the amount awarded in penalties to the plaintiff. Plaintiff seeks $499,983.75 in attorney's fees and costs. The court finds that attorney's fees are authorized here and awards plaintiff $342,782.50. Reasonable. Court, that is what you would call unreasonable. A simple contract dispute over $3,000 and some late fees required $342,000 in legal fees. Have I lost my mind? How is this considered reasonable? $342,782.50 in attorney's fees is reasonable. The only person who would consider it reasonable are maybe the people participating. I don't know a single person in the world who thinks resolving a $3,000 contract dispute awards a new house to the lawyers? Maybe this could be a new show on YouTube. Instead of gifting houses to families in need who are going through a major setback in life, we just need to find an attorney willing to read some emails and read a couple 3-page contracts, and they get a house. This is the chart for the plaintiff's attorneys. The main attorney billed 439.4 hours at her hourly rate of $650, which resulted in a total cost of $285,000. But don't forget the additional 120 hours and nearly $60,000 spread amongst her other teammates. I could write The Lord of the Rings in Spanish backwards in 440 hours, and I would have to use Google Translate for every word. 560 hours to solve a $3,000 dispute. This is insanity. And that's just the plaintiffs. This doesn't include Ignite's legal team. Here, plaintiffs' attorneys and an additional expert attorney have provided affidavits regarding prevailing rates in the relevant community, and defendant does not provide any contrary evidence. Having reviewed the declarations, the court accepts these attorneys' hourly rates as reasonable. The hourly rates may be reasonable, but charging 300 hours to tie your shoe, eat lunch, and make a phone call would be a little unreasonable, right? A contract between Ignite and Josh Ryan, a contract between Josh Ryan and LA Models, and a contract between LA Models and Kaylee Repaviard, all totaling maybe 10 pages. Defendant Ignite argues that there was blatant overbilling and padding of the bill by plaintiff's attorneys. The court didn't find their argument of overbilling convincing enough to overrule. That's because they didn't need any argument. 560 hours to figure out if a model got paid $3,000 or not and who is liable is a little on the excessive side, don't you think? I mean, seriously, think about what a human can accomplish in 560 hours. You can learn 3 languages, get married, and become a gold medalist by the time attorneys figure out if a contract was breached. Funny enough, the plaintiffs even challenged for a 1.5 multiple on the awarded amount because of how novel and challenging they state the case was. This is like winning the lottery and then going back and asking for more. Hey, you know I turned $1 into $3 million, right? Well, my cousin's friend wants a house too. Can we up the amount to $5 million? Right now, Ignite owes Paviard nearly $400,000, but they decided to appeal. This is in order for Ignite to post a supersedious bond. The amount is $100,764. Whenever someone appeals a ruling with a judgment, they have to post a supersedious bond. If the ruling is not overturned, then the winning party collects directly from the bond. One thing I found interesting is that Kaylee Ray has done this before. She sued a company called WowKnit in 2021. The first photo shoot took place in January 2018, and she claims her $1,200 a day rate was not paid. The second photo shoot took place in June 2018, and she claims her $3,000 day rate was not paid. A few months later, she sued Fanatics for the same claim. She alleges she was employed for 2 days at a total rate of $5,000 and was never paid. First and foremost, the talent should always be paid on time. If Kaylee never got paid, then it's pretty annoying that she had to spend years of time and energy and had to hire attorneys to get paid what she was owed. But we can all agree that our system is broken if a simple contract dispute resulted in attorney's fees being awarded $340,000 for solving what could have been solved in about 6 hours. The problem is that lawyers get paid based on how many hours they work, not on how many cases get resolved, so of course it takes 52 hours to read an email. As of right now, Kaylee has a judgment of $400,000 against Ignite. Ignite is appealing, so the case isn't completely resolved. All that means is more billable hours to the attorneys. Welcome to America. Thanks for watching.